What's good, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? JDaisy here with the JDaisy Gaming Channel, here with Rock of Ages 2, Bigger and Bolder. For full disclosure, I never played the first Rock of Ages. I kind of just glanced at it when it first came out, and it just looked odd. Let's go with the word odd. But for some reason, I thought, okay, we'll try out Rock of Ages 2. It's getting really good reviews. It's always at the front of Steam. Let's see what all the hubbub is about. Um, and it is interesting. It at its core is a tower defense game, with single player campaign and a multiplayer aspect, um, with a, how do we want to describe the comedy in this game? A very scholarly comedy. It pokes fun at a lot of figures in history. The main character is Atlas pushing his boulder, and you run into the people you challenge along the way in the story mode. Are people like Alexander and Vincent van Gogh and Cleopatra and stuff like this. And when you meet them, there's always a little cut screen, and it just kind of pokes fun at them, like Vincent van Gogh takes his ear off and stuff like that. And the whole premise of the game, as the game tells you when you first boot it up with a small cut screen, is how does man do war? They roll giant boulders down hills. That's how they've always done war. That's how war will be done. Um, and ergo, you have the premise for the game. You roll a giant boulder down a hill and hit your opponent's castle. So this involves, you both have identical maps. So there's two maps right next to each other, and both of yours are identical. One you roll your boulder down, and the other he rolls his boulder down. And you build up defenses to stop their boulder, but in reality, you're not really stopping them. You're just trying to slow their boulder down. There really is. I've never had it where you've destroyed a boulder. You pretty much, the aim of the game is to slow down their boulder so you can get to theirs quicker than they can get to yours. And you do this by creating traps and walls. Traps being like giant springboards that'll throw their boulder off, or elephants that'll hit their boulder, thus slowing them down. Cows that stick to them, thus slowing them down. A lot of wacky stuff, but a few of them are very good at what they do. So you just gotta figure out what that nice balance between, what does what, and it's slowing them down. Like I said, that's kind of the key of the game as far as I can see. Because you both have cooldowns in between rolling. That is when you, like, the boulder is being made. The cooldowns is when you build your defenses. With money, you either gather by putting down mines that, like mines like people with pickaxes, mines that people will pick at gold stocks. But the problem with those is those can be destroyed by the enemy's boulder. Or you just get money by every time you roll your boulder. I believe it's through anytime you go through their defenses or destroy a defense, or how much damage you do and stuff like that. And the boulder will take damage as it gets hit by stuff, but that primarily just affects when you hit their gate. You're trying to break down their gate, and they're trying to break down your gate of your castle, obviously. And the more health your boulder has when it hits their gate, the more damage it does. And there are different types of boulders, and there are different traps, as I said, and you pick those when the match begins. I typically have been playing with a very heavy boulder. It's called the armor boulder, so it has a lot of health. It's a little bit slower, can't really jump, but when you hit pretty hard. It normally takes about 3 to have the gate almost completely gone, and the 4th one just kind of is like a plywood fence that you just roll through. Then you roll over their person, and the match is done. Defenses, I normally go with walls, because walls are never a bad choice. They have springboards, which I like, that can normally throw the boulder off the map, in which case you have to respawn. It respawns you at a checkpoint style system right next to it. And then either like a wind turbine, which just blows the boulder, and if you put it right, it'll blow it right off the edge. And what else? The last spot I kind of switch around. So the story mode, you just kind of move around this map, fighting in different battles in different aesthetically pleasing areas. Each map is customized to who you are facing in that. So like Vincent Van Gogh's was very artsy and stuff. When you fought the Baba Yaga, it was like in a cold area, and you had to fight across this frozen lake that was quite difficult. Um, so each map is stylized for a particular uh, person or AI. So it's very aesthetically pleasing. If you like kind of, I wouldn't even call it satire because it's not poking fun at them in a satirical method. It's just poking fun at their character, and just kind of in a funny, 2D style, uh, almost like paper-esque style of making fun of them. It calls itself a comedy. You do kind of chuckle here and there, I'll give it that. But at its core, it is a tower defense game with. Uh, sorry, I keep saying it's very early in the morning. Tower defense game with offensive elements. So it also has multiplayer, which I have tried only a handful of times, and it's the basic same thing, except you pick the map, you do that, and match makes you. So therefore, you're doing the same thing, but I mainly just focus on the story mode, as most of you would assume. But yeah, guys, that's Rock of Ages 2. I'd say it's worth a try. I think it's only like $19.99 on Steam. I will check as I finish up here with you folks, just so you can be accurate. But it's a fun little game. If you like tower defense games, this is definitely worth a try. If you like kind of a blander comedy, it is $14.99, which I think is a very appropriate price point for it. Just came out on August 28th of this year, so I think that's a very, very appropriate price point for this game. It's not the biggest game. The story campaign has a lot of stuff that you can go through. There's a lot of stuff there with different difficulties. Each map you play on isn't just set to a difficulty of ranking up. It leaves that up to you to rank yourself up as you play, which adds to the replayability. Because you can go back and try it on a harder mode, and the maps all are very different. There hasn't been any two maps I would say are completely the same. There will be same-like aspects, but no two that are definitely the same. And with the multiplayer, that gives you a lot more replay. So I'd say that $15 price point is a very appropriate price point. But as always, that's up for you to decide. I'm just here to try and nudge you in a direction, give you some information to help you folks. But yeah, check it out. It's on Steam. As always, we're all in this one together. See you in the next one.